Welcome to Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, a mother-daughter podcast on all things magic and pop culture. Three, two, one, and we're on.
We're on. See, I kept my laughter. I waited.
You did.
I waited.
I've got the giggles today.
You do. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Leigh. I'm the daughter.
I'm Lori. I'm the mom.
What's up?
What the heck is happening?
I don't know. If you're watching us on YouTube, we look a little different.
We do. We got a real set.
We got upgraded.
We did. We're adults.
Up top. It looks great.
It does.
We've got a spooky little setup.
We got a little, spooky little setup going on here.
We've got real chairs.
We got a real chair to sit in.
Wow. What a beautiful thing.
This is crazy.
We've made it. We've made it to the top.
Well, we're mid-level.
or to the midpoint. That too.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my God. We're in Seattle.
We're in Seattle, guys. Yeah. We've moved.
Our move went good.
It did. We traveled 3,000 and some.
Were you trying to do
I'm
the
trying
math?
to think let me get the, I was trying to do a Rain Man in my head, but I couldn't do
don't
it.
know
So
how many.
3,000 miles
Uh-huh.
across the country.
It was kind of crazy.
It was crazy because we did it in three
Three
freaking
days.
Yeah. So we drove 12, 13 hours a
Yeah,
day.
we were trying to be as safe as possible and not really stop. Only stopped when absolutely necessary. And obviously we were, safe as can
drive
be.
through, potty breaks. Yeah.
Potty break. And you know
Potty
me,
breaks.
I had a lot. I had a lot of potty breaks.
Had a lot of potty breaks. But, yeah.
Holy crap, though. What a beautiful drive.
Woo. I had never been really, once I got out of Ohio, I had never been to Indiana. Well, no, I've been to Indianapolis before. Yeah, I was in Indianapolis before.
Okay. I like Indianapolis.
Yeah. When I lived in Nashville, my friend Steve was on tour with one of the bands he was in, and they were playing for the America. Remember the band America?
I do, yes.
And they were at the Indianapolis Speedway, and so we had gone out there. So, I had been to Indiana before, but had never been to Chicago.
I have never been to Chicago. Still to this day, I didn't get to stop. So my dad and my stepmom and my brother live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we've been there a lot, but I've never been past Fort Wayne. Well, I guess Indianapolis is technically whatever. I'm not good at maps.
Well, didn't you guys go to Indianapolis one day?
Yeah. So I think that's probably the farthest west I have been.
Yeah. And so we kind of went separate because you went to visit them for a couple days, and I went on ahead. So I got to actually stop in Chicago.
Yeah.
Had never been.
Was it beautiful?
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And of course, the first thing I had to do, being the huge John Cusack fan that I am.
High Fidelity.
I had to go to the High Fidelity. I had to go where he was standing,
In the movie. Oh, I'm jealous.
Under the theater. Yeah. So that, and I got some Chicago style pizza.
Was it?
And it was
delectable?
freaking delectable.
Was it?
But what a gorgeous, gorgeous city.
Jake has been there many
my
times,
gosh.
and he says that, and our best friends love it there, and they always tell us, you have to go, and I can't believe I didn't get to go.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
I'll make it there.
But then out of Chicago into
oh geez, what was it? Wisconsin.
We hit Wisconsin, which I had to stop at the cheese house and get some,
What was
I was
really
like, why am
funny?
I seeing all these advertisements for cheese? And I'm like, oh, we're in freaking Wisconsin.
What that was hilarious about Wisconsin is it was just billboards that just simply said cheese. That was it.
Next stop, cheese.
I think one said cheese and meat.
And it reminded me because remember in Dogma when he sends Loki and the other one to Wisconsin. I think it's Wisconsin, and they have those hats on that are like a cheese wedge. Yes. They had those in the one place I stopped, and I was like, should I get this?
You didn't get a cheese hat?
Well, who would wear it?
I would. I would have put it on for this episode. Damn it.
Here he is. Hi, hello.
Here's the star of the show, everyone. Nook is here to say hello.
Always me.
I know you're wondering. He is adjusting quite well.
Thanks.
As you can hear.
Buddy. I see you.
Okay, Bubba.
Thank you. I know.
Get down.
I know. He's like, I have to be right in the center of it all.
He's like, you're not paying attention to me, the star of the show.
Yeah. And then where else did we go?
We went to Minnesota. Home of Prince.
Yes. There were a lot of billboards for Paisley Park. And I was like, let's detour. Let's go. In North Dakota, though, we just happened to stop at the Badlands.
Wow.
We
like Jack McFarlane.
Yeah. We didn't see any bison. But there were signs that were,
don't touch the bison.
Don't touch the bison.
No, buffalo.
Buffalo?
Is a buffalo a bison?
That is correct.
Shut up. You're looking at me like, yeah, you dumb ass. Are you sure?
I was like, let me check myself. Yes.
Are you positive?
Yeah. Bison and buffalo are the same
thing. I'm having a corn
right?
dog moment. Are they the
Jake,
same
check
thing?
Me out. Now you have me questioning myself.
God.
But that was a gorgeous stop.
And
it was the Theodore Roosevelt.
So North Dakota was interesting to me because it was like flat. And then all of a sudden, like this gorgeous, scenic Badlands view. Holy crap.
We hit North Dakota and I was like, where are the people? Like it was, and then I don't know if you were thinking it, but I certainly in my head was thinking, how are people saying there is no land left in America?
There was a lot of land.
Because it was land as far as the eye could see, and I'm like, where are the people?
Hello?
I was like, what if my car broke down here? I would be like...
I thought, like, where do you get groceries? It's like, what do you do?
Where's a gas station? And then we were on the major highway. Mm-hmm. And then we blew into Montana.
Wow. Holy
gorgeous,
crap.
But holy shit.
The wind. It was a little windy.
Wind. My car was blowing all over the road, and it was like I was holding on so tight. Just the whole way, I was like, "Oh my god, my car is!" Because it was like you get in there, and it's like the speed limit's 75, and I'm like, the wind is blowing my car back. I can't do more than 60.
That was something interesting. Was that the speed limit was really high compared to Pennsylvania? I was like, "Holy!"
Well, we got into Idaho, and the freaking speed limit was like 75 or 80, and I was like, I've never seen such mountains.
Okay, so to me, Idaho, holy crap, man. Idaho was stunning. And I had no idea. Gorgeous. I had absolutely no idea. We went through Idaho and I was like, my breath was taken away.
I felt like I was on the top of heaven and scrolling my way down to the bottom of the...
It was a little nerve-wracking on those mountains.
Woo.
But wow, beautiful. Girl. But you know what's the prettiest?
Seattle?
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, like pulling in,
gorgeous.
So I cried like multiple times. Like I just, we pulled in and we saw the view of the city, but I didn't see the Space Needle. And I know that sounds silly, but so you have to understand, right, that since I was little, I have been looking at photos of Seattle saying, I want to live there.
That's
like,
correct.
Since I was very little. So in my mind, I was like, I have to see the Space Needle.
Right.
Like as cliche as that sounds.
Right.
And when we pulled in, we were coming from east. So we didn't see the Space Needle.
Right.
So then we all went like the day after we got here and we went to Cary Park, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
And saw like the view, like the view that I have been staring at in pictures and magazines and books. And I cried. Yeah. I just stood there and I was like, oh my God.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. I've never, so not to get too personal, but you and my dad were divorced. I bounced around.
You were very young.
Very young.
Yeah, like 4.
Yeah. I bounced around a lot when I was little and not complaining. I'm very, blessed.
Yeah.
However, I never had like a stable, like this is your home.
Yeah, you belong here.
Yes. But I had that feeling like when I was looking out into the city, I was like, oh man, like this is where
because we moved here and it was very, people probably think we're insane.
Probably,
because let's just put this out there. We are not we're not financially well-to-do. So this was quite an undertaking because hey guys, it's expensive to move across the country.
What?
It is expensive to move across the country. Yes, we're very lucky and very grateful that Jake's parents, saved us a couple grand, because they volunteered to drive a rental truck instead of us hiring movers. And so they came along on the trip with us, which was, what a blessing that was, but so it's not like we just have, all this money in the world. We do not. And so we were pinching every penny, and it's quite expensive to move across the country. And we did this literally, I believe it was Jake's birthday in June. And we're like, it's time to make a move.
Like I said,
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. I think we said in the last one, like some things happened and they just fell into place. And I don't know. I mean, 2020, so take away everything politically and just like what's going on in the world in 2020. 2019 was probably the most trying time of my life. And I hate to say this. It sounds like I've had a lot of trying times.
I was going to say, I would say the last 5 years you have been, for both of us, have been extremely
traumatic. There's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot of emotional,
a lot of family bullshit.
Yeah. Yes. So 2019 though specifically was kind of like the tip of the iceberg. I was like, I put a fork in me, man.
I am done.
I have had enough.
Right.
So I think that coupled with everything going on in the world, like politically and with the pandemic, it was kind of like, you know what? I said it, and I think in the last episode, if you're not happy, just let's just do something about it. Like it was just, it sounds like it should be complicated, but it was kind of as simple as that. Like we're not happy. Life is short. Let's just do what we think.
Right. Yeah. Cause I had even at one point trying to describe how I was feeling to my friend I said, I feel like there is a plastic bag over my head and I cannot catch my breath. And that's really, and it was just the years of trauma that were happening and, just the culmination of everything.
Yeah.
So, and then we decided, hey, we're going to move. You wanted, Seattle was where you've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then I ended up applying for school, which happened to be here in Seattle. And so, that's kind of what prompted the move is that, I'm going back to school.
You go, girl. Whoop, whoop.
For herbalism, of course, to be with the plants.
Naturally.
And the school offers a degree here, the only program in the U.S. So
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thanks, girl. So, that kind of was the catalyst to bring us here. And that's where you always wanted to be. So it kind of, everything just fell completely into place.
It really did.
Like boom, 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 boom. And within 2 months, we were on the road.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a podcast about magic. So, I mean, I feel like I personally am a very intuitive person and I pay attention. Like, I pay attention to what the universe is telling me and I pay attention to little signs and just everything I was getting was like, just go. Yeah. Like, get out of where you are. Right. So we just did it.
And none of us have ever been here before.
No.
So, which is why when you, again, talking about magic in everyday life, and this is, we're living it.
Yeah.
And that's what we never want to say anything like we live this. And so it all comes down to signs and, serendipity and all of those types of things. But we just moved here and none of us had been here. But when you hit the city, like you knew and you were crying because you knew.
Yeah. I mean, and me and Jake talked about it. Like I said, I don't have that kind of personality where I'm like, yeah, I'll just go wherever, man. Like, that's not, I'm not that chill.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, I kind of like, I have too much anxiety to be like, now, wait a minute. Like, I need to see it and what's going on here. And because of past trauma, I was really like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. But if I was going to move anywhere that I hadn't seen before.
Sight unseen, besides Ireland, of course. Yeah. And the thatched roofs.
Right. Those thatched roofs, man. She's getting all sweaty just thinking about it.
All right.
It was going to be Seattle.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I don't know. It just all worked out. And I think that a lot of people right now are having a hard time and they're sad and they feel hopeless. Just hold on, man. Like
I'm telling you guys, if we could do this on a shoestring and a hope and a prayer, it can be done. And it's, you know, putting that intention out into the world and having the universe, you know, bring about those changes that you're seeking, and just being hopeful. And,
just keeping that alive. And I know it's really hard. But we're here. We've gone through it.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I already feel like 100 pounds lighter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And today we woke up and it was like Seattle rain and 60 degrees and the fall leaves are blown around and you're like, woo!
It's like, it's spooky time.
Right. Now I'm not going to lie. This time change has kicked my ass. It has kicked my
I know. I'm like trying to get adjusted to.
Yeah. That's a 3-hour time difference. Yeah. So it's like we eat dinner at 8. It's like 11 o'clock. You know, you wake up at 8 and it's like, oh, the rest of the world, like at home, it's like 11.
Well, I know because so I have 2 very, you know, dear best friends back at home. And that was the hardest thing about leaving Pittsburgh. And so we talk like every day. And so it's weird because they're like just kind of, they're winding down. And I'm like, oh, well, we're just about to
eat lunch.
We're just about to eat lunch and start our day.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This dog today.
And so we really haven't gotten to see all that much. Hello, Nanook. Yes. He's like, let me be part of this.
Why not?
He's like, I want to feel part. We haven't got to see a lot, but we did go to Twin Peaks.
Yeah, we did. So if you listen to our Twin Peaks episode, man, oh my God, we went there.
We went there and we went to the Double R Diner. Is that what it's called?
The Double R Diner.
Yes. And so Leanne has finally shamed me into watching Twin Peaks.
And how do you feel? Are you confused?
I don't know what the hell is going on. So I know that you have gotten some of our listeners after your Twin Peaks episode to tune in and start listening to Twin Peaks. And I'm wondering if they're just as confused as me because...
Hey, I think I was up front.
I mean, I like the damn fine cup of coffee. I like the fish in the percolator. I like when he ate his earbud. I like the cherry pie. And we had that good old cherry pie there at the Double R Diner, and it was delicious. It was a damn fine cup of coffee.
It was,
yeah. And then we went to the Snohomish. Is that what it's called? Snohomish. What?
Snohomish.
Snohomish.
What did you say?
That's what I said.
No, that's not what you said.
Snohomish. Snohomish.
You said
Schneeble. Schneeble. That's Schneebly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that was beautiful.
It was.
I mean, it is just, it's freaking beautiful here.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's you shouldn't be traveling right now as much as you
can avoid it, but careful,
if you can get out here, man, get out here. I will say, Washington, man, you got some spooky spiders. That I was not prepared for. I was sitting in the bathroom the other day and one crawled across my feet and I was like, I've never seen you before. What are you? You're big and you don't look familiar.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are now enjoying some Seattle gin. And I know that every time we shoot this podcast, they're like, God, these gals must be luscious, but we really don't drink.
No, we
much.
save it.
Yeah. And I've had 1.5 and I'm like, woo,
we're feeling
that's
good.
Some strong gin.
It's going to be a fun night. This is 3 Howls, a Seattle, I don't want alcohol company. I don't know what they're called.
Gin. They do other things.
They do other things, but we like their gin.
Yeah.
Clink.
Hey, and I will say another fine thing in Seattle. The food is banging here.
Woo! You got some good food.
On fire. We have not had anything that has not been.
And it's all been local, like no chains.
All been local, no chains. No chains.
Wow. You're doing it right.
Yeah. And the people have been super duper nice.
Yeah, I have not felt the Seattle freeze.
When I go in to pick up some takeout food and somebody says, "Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me," I'm like, dude.
Can you imagine hearing that? Pittsburgh, I love you. But can you imagine hearing that in Pittsburgh? Absolutely not.
It's like, did you just say thank you for spending part of your day with me? Oh my gosh. I love you. Put you in my pocket. Take you home. Right? Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Adorable.
It was adorable.
So that was a little, that was our lengthy diatribe there.
All right. So I am doing Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Right.
Thoughts?
Ooh. Not my thing.
Not your thing?
Not my thing.
It wasn't for you.
No.
You didn't grow up in the 90s.
No. Bewitched was my era.
Yeah. So, okay. I have a point about that.
You?
Yeah. We'll
Zip
talk.
it.
Shut your lips.
Pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes there, bud. All right. So Sabrina the Teenage Witch, TV sitcom. Mm-hmm. Automatically, you're out.
Out.
You hate sitcoms.
Don't like them.
Too short.
10 minutes commercial, 15, 20 minutes of watch time.
Wow.
By the time I get invested, it's over. Got to wait till next week. Out.
I think sitcoms are supposed to be just a little light.
Yeah.
Not for you?
No.
Okay. First episode dropped on September 27th, 1996. I was 3 years old.
Wow. So you were not watching at that time.
I was a little nugget.
Instead, you were watching The Pest.
I was. If anyone, please. If
John
anyone has seen that movie, please. We were singing the theme song prior to filming this. So
yeah, because you used to watch it every minute of every day.
I love that movie. I don't see any problem with that. But no one I know has seen that movie.
And there's a reason for that.
Oh, you know what? Suck it. Suck it. Oh my God. All right. 1996. Get there.
We're there. 96.
Get there mentally.
I'm there. What was I wearing?
I want you to get your like denim.
Denim.
You're like, what were those hair ties that had like the balls on them?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about?
Those were from the 70s.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were retro. They came back in style in the 90s.
They came back.
Yeah.
Jelly bracelets.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. So
and jelly shoes.
Oh my God.
Go.
Puffy inflatable chairs. I really want you to get there.
Hey, I remember when I was a kid, I was standing at the bus stop. It had to be in the 70s, and I had my mom had finally let me get a pair of satin shorts. Satin. Oh, they were baby blue, girl. Baby blue.
Why?
And don't you know that it had rained that day? And when the bus came down, it went into a big puddle and splashed all over my shorts and ruined them because you couldn't wash satin. So they were goners, and I was devastated.
Why did you
Thank God I didn't have my jelly shoes on with the satin.
Jelly shoes were in the 90s.
Dude, again, retro, they had come back.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Another corn dog moment. I thought that the 90s created the jelly shoe.
No.
God, son of a
yeah, those were so uncomfortable.
Right. Okay, anyway,
Sabrina. Yes,
get in the 90s zone.
In the zone.
Okay. Have we said that we've had a lot of gin?
Yeah. Well, actually, we haven't had that much. I had 1.5, and I'm like, woo. Okay, go girl.
Okay, that's where I am. All right, starring Melissa Joan Hart as Sabrina Spellman, Beth Broderick. You know I'm gonna butcher these names.
Probably. That's all right. I probably will on mine.
Okay, Beth Broderick as Zelda Spellman, Caroline Ray, I don't know, as Hilda Spellman, Nate Reichart, as Harvey Kinkle.
Oh no, Kinkle.
Why not just say Kinkle? You're like
does Kinkle
really
have
close.
Kinkles?
You're so close to just saying cankle, right?
Mr. Kinkle has cankles.
The new nursery rhyme. There you go.
Tinkles.
Oh my gosh. And Nick Bakay as the voice of Salem Saberhagen.
Okay.
So there's your cast.
There's the cast.
All right. You have never really watched this, so you're in for a treat.
I'm in for it. Strapping myself in, girl. I'm back on the coaster, ready to go.
You ready?
Ready. Okay. School me.
Takes place in Westbridge. Mm-hmm. And before you ask, it's fictional. It's a
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay.
A fictional Boston town. However, the zip code of this town is 01970, which is the same as Salem. So little nod.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
It's based on the Archie comics of the same name. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Were you a big Archie fan?
I was not a big Archie fan, but do recall Sabrina and Josie and the Pussycats.
I love Josie and the Pussycats.
The movie those were cartoons.
Well, I like the movie with Rachel Lee Cook.
Yes, you did. Used to watch that as well.
Did not get good reviews.
But you also watched Melissa Joan Hart and Clarissa. Was it Clarissa Explains It All? Yes. So you used to watch that all the time.
Oh, she had her place in the 90s. Yeah, she did.
She did.
Okay, so it's often compared to Bewitched, which is what I was going to say. So it's like the 90s version of
Bewitched.
Yeah. Which you were going to do.
I think I'm doing that next.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It ran for 7 seasons. And okay,
Notable.
I had this little side note. Do you remember Pat Robertson?
Oh, I do.
From the 700 Club?
Yes.
That old fart.
I do. I recall him. Okay. He was on the air for like a million years.
Dude, I used to watch, like, I'm not even kidding.
The 700 Club?
No, I used to fall asleep watching like Sabrina, and then I'd wake up in the morning and
it would be Pat Robertson.
Oh,
that's disappointing.
That old bag of dirt would be there telling me how to live my life, and I'd be like, "Son of a this old white dude sitting here trying to tell me how to live."
We went from witches to
this. So here's why I bring him up. I wrote old fart televangelist. Sorry if he's like your relative or something. I apologize. Geez. Is he alive?
No.
Yes.
Is he? No, he is not.
Yeah, he is.
Shut the front door. What is he, 110?
Dude,
he passed away. He passed away a couple years ago. He was like 100.
Pat Robinson, born March 22nd of 1930. He is 90 years old and still very much alive.
And if he's listening,
and in my personal opinion, a massive piece of
he's listening to this podcast, you've just insulted him.
You're not well liked here. Sorry, dude. So he tried to get this show pulled off the air because of the witchcraft themes.
Oh my gosh. And then he was on like following the Sabrina.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I used to fall asleep at night watching like Nick at Night? Or I don't know if it was ABC or whatever. And it was all the good at night, and then I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up in the morning getting ready for school, and I'm like, God, this old fart is sitting here.
Yeah.
He was always on when I woke up in the morning.
700 Club. Center.
Yes, him.
You are going to hell.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so he tried to get the show pulled off the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Get a grip. My God.
Oh,
okay.
Lord.
So the premise. Okay. I'm going to just give you the rundown of the first episode.
Okay.
And kind of because the first episode really, it's kind of all of the episodes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sitcom. Enough said.
A subtle drag. Okay, so it opens with Sabrina Spellman receiving a present for her 16th birthday from her 2 aunts, Zelda and Hilda. Okay. The present is a black cauldron. Love it.
Ooh.
I would welcome that present.
Yeah.
But she was like, what the f*** is this?
What the hell is this?
She says, a black pot.
Just what I've always wanted.
What I've always wanted.
What she really wanted was some satin shorts.
Or some jelly sandals.
Yeah.
Hello. Where's my jelly shoes? Oh, okay. She's a witch. The two.
Oh
what?
My goodness! What?
The 2 aunts tell her, "Here's this black cauldron because you're a witch," and she's like, "What?
What a way to break the news. Where's the hat?
Where's the broomstick?
Where's the broomstick? Cauldron? Really? Is that your go-to?
They say, we're witches. Your father was a witch. You're a witch. For some reason, 16 is like the
It's
number.
when you come into your power.
Correct.
Yeah.
So she is a half witch. Okay. Her father was a witch, but her mother is mortal.
So in Harry Potter world, a muggle.
What? Look at yes. Look at you go. Way to go up top. Is that offensive?
What?
No, wait. Muggle's not offensive. No,
so.
mudblood.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're getting
I'm cutting that out.
Why?
Is muggle offensive?
Isn't
We're talking about a hypothetical world.
Okay, anywho. Okay. Her aunts are there to teach her magic because, so apparently there's this rule, right? Where if she sets eyes on her mortal mother in the first 2 years of her learning her powers, the mother were, oh my God, I can't speak. The mother will turn into a ball of wax.
What?
No.
Did the same makers make Twin Peaks? I don't know.
Whatever. Okay. So the aunts have to, because she can't see her mother. Okay.
Well, in Twin Peaks, somebody just turned into a doorknob, and I'm...
Dude, I told you. I told you. That show's wild.
I don't get it.
I mean, I don't smoke pot, but if I did, I would really like to just smoke and then watch Twin Peaks.
Maybe you'd understand it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anywho, Sabrina's like, yeah, right. I don't know what the you guys are talking about. And she goes to school and she's chilling in bio class, right? And she's supposed to dissect a frog.
Okay.
But she feels bad.
Well, yeah, because that's
cruel. Okay. No, you don't do that. Would you want someone to dissect you?
No.
Okay,
No.
exactly. So she feels bad. And she points at the frog and was like, I wish you were still alive. And wouldn't you freaking know it? The frog comes back to life.
What? I'm shocked.
And she's like, huh? Okay. Back at home. So, she makes the frog come back to life. She goes back home and she receives another gift from her father, which is a book called The Discovery of Magic, which I'm kind of likening it to Book of Shadows.
Okay.
Right?
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
Never seen it, but yeah.
Okay. She's reading the book. She's like still not buying it. But then her cat, who is a black cat named Salem, begins to talk. And
hey, that would convince me.
Would it?
Yeah. I'd be like, all right now. I'm into this.
Now I'm on board.
Now I'm on board.
And he's sassy. And he's literally hilarious.
Love it.
I like to imagine Nanook talking like Salem the cat.
Really?
But I don't think he's that smart.
Or sassy.
Or no. Oh, poor guy.
He'd probably talk like Marmaduke.
Oh, ouch. But you're right.
Yeah.
But ouch.
Yeah.
Yup. Okay, so she starts believing it after the cat starts to talk. All right.
I would too.
You're like, and I'm in.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm in. So they all start practicing magic together, right? The ants are trying to, again, sitcom, you've got 30 minutes. I think it's hilarious.
15.
Okay, 15 with the commercials. I think it's hilarious how quickly she's like, oh, yeah.
I'm a witch.
I'm a witch.
Yeah,
Duh.
right.
And they start practicing and they're turning apples into oranges, like literally. So the thing about this show is all of the magic comes with, you have to point.
Okay. And that's it.
Point. And there's your magic.
There you
comes
go.
out of your finger.
Okay.
Bink.
So with Samantha, it was a
little
nose twitch.
Right. Now it's a
pink with your finger.
bink, bink.
Yeah. But what if you just happen to be like, hey, over there? And then what?
That's what happens.
Oh, crap.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. You got to hone that craft, girl.
She hasn't honed it yet.
Has not honed the craft.
In the first 15 minutes of the series. Okay.
Oh, dang.
So there's this high school bully.
So something goes awry.
Yes. High school bully.
Ooh.
Mean to her. Okay. She's like starting and Sabrina's like,
hey,
you.
Don't
and
do
points
that.
at her and turns her into a pineapple.
A pineapple. Pineapple. What an odd choice of. Why'd she turn into a fruit?
Because when they were practicing the magic.
Oh, apples to oranges.
Right. But she couldn't get the apple into an orange. She could only get the apple into a pineapple.
Oh.
So then when she was getting angry at the bully, she turned into a pineapple.
Okay, I get it. All right. Thanks for that clarification.
She takes the pineapple, which is actually the high school bully, home to her aunts, and she's like, what the I just turned this girl into a pineapple. How do I get her back? She said that she has to go. Or wait, no. The girl turns back into herself and realizes she's a witch. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Weird things are happening, and she's going to tell the entire school.
Oh, wow. The secret is out.
The secret's out within the first 10 minutes of the series.
Of the very first episode.
Mm-hmm. Sabrina says, my life is over as a high school student. What do I do? The aunt says, well, you have to go to the council of, what's it called? I don't know. The Witches' Council. Okay. That's what it's called. Who happens to be Penn and Teller.
Penn Jillette. All right.
Played by Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to go to the Witches' Council to request to turn back time. Okay. That the popular girl does not tell the whole entire school that Sabrina's a witch. Mm-hmm. She waits for the council's decision. She chats with Salem about it. The request gets denied.
Oh, darn.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Bummer. But Hilda works some magic and talks them into turning back time, and all is well.
And so nobody finds out she's a witch.
Nobody finds out she's a witch.
And for how many seasons was this on?
7.
And nobody knew she was a witch.
Harvey Kinkle finds out at some point.
Oh, Kinkles. Finds out she's a witch. Is he is he the BFF?
He's the love interest.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see. I see where this is going.
Yep.
And he accepts her for who she is.
Right.
I love it.
I love it. You really just laid out the entire series there.
Yeah.
Right. So the series follows Sabrina going through everyday life, juggling schoolwork, love, friendship, and of course, magic.
Nice.
And witchcraft.
Nice.
Right. So there's the series in a nutshell.
Okay.
I can't get too deep with it because it's not
supposed to be taking
it's not, right.
It's light.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be, light and fun. Right. So, but I did find this article, and I'm going to, name drop here. It's called How Each Incarnation of Sabrina the Teenage Witch is Symbolic of Feminism Throughout the Years by Clarice Lockery.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm going to be taking some quotes from there. That's why I'm going to name drop it, because she talks about the connection between girl power and witchcraft via. I see. I had it right the first time.
You had it right the first time. Go, girl.
Darn it. Look at me go.
So close.
Between girl power and witchcraft. Did I say that already?
I don't know. Keep going.
Roll it back. Okay. So the comic, which dropped in 1962, cartoon, okay, was written by men.
Oh,
2 men.
Okay,
and Sabrina, let me find it here. Okay, so Sabrina reflected the 60s idea of a witch, right? Okay. She was sexually attractive, she was mischievous, however, she was controllable. Because if she were to fall in love, she would lose her powers.
Oh.
So, written from the perspective of men.
So you're only powerful until
we say you're not.
Submit to a man.
Correct.
What a bunch of shit.
Right. Okay. So then you go to the 1990s, which is what we're talking about. The whole show was written by females. So it was
wonderful.
It was female driven. The cast was female driven. The crew was female driven. It had a female front runner, which I have her name here somewhere. Let me find it. Nell Scoville. Like the pepper.
It's the Scoville.
The Scoville. I'm probably butchering that, but so it was more of a female perspective. Now it still had its downfalls, there wasn't that much representation. It wasn't that diverse of a cast. Okay. However, you were still getting witchcraft from a female perspective. In the 1990s, whereas prior, it was from a men's perspective. So you had a strong female character who happened to have powers. She was goofy, smart. She was a go-getter, hard worker, lovable, loyal. The aunts were strong female leads. Empowerment through women's eyes. So instead of men telling the story of a woman and how she's empowered, this was coming from women. Right. So then you have the modern day. So if you don't know, Sabrina has been redone again, and it's called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it follows the comic a little closer. Like, it takes place in the town that it was supposed to take place in the comic, and it's in like the Riverdale universe. Like the Archie. And it actually has more ties to the occult. Like, they focus more. So Sabrina, the 90s version, it's supposed to be lighthearted and kind of goofy and fun.
Not to be taken seriously.
As far as witchcraft goes, yes. Like, it's just supposed to be kind of silly. Still, like, serious in its own way, but just not, you know, they didn't go and study the occult and make sure it was accurate. Whereas The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is much more like they actually, so that's going to be a separate episode.
I've watched a few of those episodes.
It's darker.
It's very dark. Yes.
However, they do focus more. So while they focus more on the actual occult, it is also more of a look at social structures and social injustices. So it's more rooted in like the history of witchcraft in women. So it's just different.
It's darker than I usually, subscribe to, but definitely I would watch that over the 90s sitcom,
Yeah, I mean, it was just a different time in my opinion. So I have a direct quote from the article that I mentioned earlier. So it says, historically, witches have been outcasts, and much of this unease clearly stems from fear of female force. The teenage witch genre articulates a new powerful image of femininity. It's not that the herb potions have become hip. Rather, witchcraft has become synonymous with power and girly magic. So it kind of talked about how, like, in the 90s with Charmed and Buffy, which we've talked about, and Sabrina, you had this, like, female empowerment thing going on that was directly correlated to witchy powers. Which kind of made it, like, it was kind of like claiming was taking back the name, like witchcraft is ours, as opposed to men saying that like this is bad and witchcraft means, I was like, no. So
I feel like in that time period of the 90s and different, witch things, like you said, Charmed and all those, it's almost like you're seen as just kind of a little baddie, a little like you're not taken seriously. You're kind of a joke, but you yourself know that the power is there. And I feel like moving forward in today's time period, like everybody else knows you're serious. You know what I mean? Like they're not shrugging you off. If that makes sense.
It does.
I mean, with the episodes of Sabrina that I watched, the new episodes, it's kind of like, there's no mistaking that this, you're taking this person seriously.
Yeah, it's just a little more ballsy, I guess is the word.
Very ballsy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like claiming, whereas, the 90s, and it had its place. Like, in my opinion, it was very important, like I said, and I mean it. Sorry to drag the old dude earlier, but I did used to like watch this religiously at night.
No pun intended.
Another subtle drag. Because it was like, she was a smart character. she was serious, but not in the way of today. She was serious for the 90s.
Yeah.
It was goofy. It was a sitcom, but it was a sitcom that showed a woman that I related to, which was not very common.
It was not the normal.
Correct.
Right.
It was not the normal, you know. So in that way, I think that the show was very important.
Yeah.
They had a lot of musical guests.
Oh, really?
Like they were big on music, and not your kind.
Not my kind. Was it like the Backstreet Boys?
Yes, NSYNC, Britney, RuPaul was on an episode.
Again, I'm out.
But again, I have written in my side notes, it's a 90s time capsule, man. Like it really... they really rode with it. Yeah. They were one of the biggest shows on the air.
Oh, I know it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have in my side notes, the Spellman Manor is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's an actual house. It's a Victorian mansion located in Freehold, New Jersey that you can go and see.
Really? Shut up.
So add it to the list.
Add to the list.
We just moved way across the...
Now we're going back to the East Coast. Ooh, I don't know.
We'll get there. And the high school that they attend is in Englewood, New Jersey.
Oh, Englewood. I feel like I was there.
I feel like we might have been there.
Yeah,
and we missed it. Son of a... Another side note, the opening sequence is iconic. It's like Sabrina standing in front of a mirror and she's, you know, changing her outfit kind of in like a Clueless type of fashion. And the first 3 outfits she changes into are the same, but then the 4th is always has something to do with the episode. Oh. So it's different every time.
All right.
Iconic. Hello.
Okay. Little foreshadowing.
Yes.
Which I'm going to talk about a lot and what's coming up for me.
Ooh, love it. Okay, so Salem, as I mentioned, the black cat. Love it. He's the hands down the best part of the show. Hilarious. Oh my God, he's so many good one-liners.
Nice.
But so the cat was actually a puppet.
Okay.
Right.
So not like the bed knobs and broomsticks cat.
No, not that poor cat.
And Jeepers Creepers.
Oh my God. But they would do like some live shots with an actual cat. And there were 3 cats that played Salem over the years.
Okay.
Named Elvis.
What? Dude, he always makes his way into these podcasts.
Here he is again.
Yes.
So the 3 cats, Elvis, Witch, and Warlock were their names.
Oh, fun.
I know.
I like the Elvis.
I know. So as I said earlier, the cast was mostly female, as was the writer's room. And it had a female showrunner. So girl power.
Girl power. I love it.
I think that if you have young kids or like middle school aged kids. This one.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one, you know, but this
Teenagers.
one is like a good introductory show to
witchcraft.
Yeah. I think it's cute. It's fun. It did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think the cast is great. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything bad to say about it.
Right. Yeah.
So up top, that's what I got.
Top notch job there, Jim.
Wow.
I love it.
Love it.
Sweet. All right, girl. You done?
I'm done.
Sweet.
Nailed it.
I feel like my notes got a little smeared.
Oh, God.
That's all right.
That's called use a laptop.
Hey, I like the old school.
Old school.
I used a purple pen.
Is it mine?
No, it was mine. Mine, not yours.
Sure.
All right. So do you know what I'm talking about today?
I do, because I saw you watching it.
Did you? All right. So I am doing today a little movie from 2000.
Is that when it was made?
2000. Called What Lies Beneath.
I love it. Love this movie.
I love this movie, and I was a little disappointed to hear that it was kind of like poo-pooed by the critics.
Really?
I was disappointed to hear that.
Why do you always say that?
That I was disappointed to hear that?
That everything was poo-pooed.
I know. What the crap? Maybe I just like movies that are like off the beaten path.
Who are these critics?
Is
it Pat Robertson? What was his name?
Siskel and Ebert. So What Lies Beneath, 2000, considered a thriller horror. I'm under the, I didn't pick a 3-hour movie this time. It's only an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
Well, no, 130 minutes. So, well, no, that's 2 hours. it.
Nice
Cut
try.
that out. Cut that out.
Lori tries to do math.
And I fail miserably because it's like 1 a.m. So it had a budget of $1 million and it took in $291 million at the box office and made it one of the top 10 grossing films of the year 2000.
I've been to the year. Oh no, that's 3000 by the Jonas Brothers.
There's 2000.
Ignore me.
A Space Odyssey. No. So, financially it did well, but the critics kind of poo-pooed it, and we'll go into why. But it had a great cast. Harrison Ford plays Dr. Norman Spencer. Mr. Harrison Ford plays Dr. Norman Spencer.
Dr. Norman Spencer.
Yes, and we may better know him as Mr. Han Solo.
Hands?
Han. I said Han. Han Solo.
Isn't it Hans?
Gosh.
Han. Hans. No. Han. H-A-N.
Obviously not a Star
It was Hans. Like plural.
Not Hans. Han Solo. Would I call him Han Solo? Cut that out. I do not watch Star Wars. I'm just going to say that. But now I did watch Indiana Jones, and he was Indiana Jones.
Han Solo.
No.
I wasn't any better. I thought it was plural. Hans.
Hans. Oh, jeez.
Hans Olo.
Hans Olo. Oh my gosh. We
need to go to like grammar school real bad.
For names. How to pronounce names.
For names.
Yes. Michelle Pfeiffer is Claire Spencer.
You know what I'm going to say?
What?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Get your heart out, Michelle Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, from
In Living Color.
In Living Color. That was a little Jim Carrey skit.
You say a lot.
We've gone way off the rails here.
I know.
Okay, the next person in this cast, Diana Scarwood. She plays Jodie, and I love her character. I think she might be me.
Is she the sister?
No, she's the friend.
Oh, she's
like,
the friend.
She's like the boho friend.
Mm-hmm.
But you might remember her in a little movie called Mommy Dearest, where she plays like the teenage Christina. No wire hangers, Christina. Right?
Uh-huh.
So that's who she plays.
Okay.
And then Amber Valletta, who plays our apparition, and she was the gal in Hitch.
Which one?
The one that, the superstar that he tries to hook. What's his name up? Lenny James, is that his name? No. Cut that out. Chris. He's from The Walking Dead. What's his name?
Kevin James.
Kevin James. It's so late. It's so late. Oh my God. This has gone completely off the rails. Cut all of this. Oh crap. Are we even? Where are we at? Okay. So anyway, she was in Hitch. So again, produced and directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Okay.
And he's done a lot of horror movies. And I'm enjoying learning that the people that produce and direct these movies that I love have, what else they do. So he did Tales from the Crypt. He did House on Haunted Hill.
The remake?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
In 99.
I love
also
that.
did 13 Ghosts. So there's your Matthew Lillard.
And Matthew Lillard.
He brings it on in to another.
We still say it wrong.
Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
I know.
I can't do it.
Yeah, we're going to say it whatever way we say it. He did Ghost Ship, which we just talked about last week, which I love. He did House of Wax.
Starring
Best Outtakes. Jared Padalecki and Chad Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Michael Murr. Gothica he did. And it's not a horror film, but I like to call it a horror film, Polar Express, because Tom Hanks, that just creeps me out.
The animation that's like animated, but it looks like real people really does freak me out.
And then he did one not too long ago, I think 2018, Welcome to Marwen with Steve Carell. And you didn't see that, but I did. I thought it was good. So we talked about, I will say that there is no way for me to talk about this film without giving away major spoilers.
Right.
And so I would highly suggest that if you have not seen this movie, to shut this off, go watch the movie, and then come back and listen to this, because
come on back,
major spoilers.
Yes.
I can't do it without giving away the spoilers. And you don't want to know these spoilers if you haven't seen this movie. So there is a lot of foreshadowing in this movie. We start the opening scene with some foreshadowing. She's in the bathroom, which I feel like if there was an award for most scenes shot in a bathroom, this would win it. Because like half the movie is shot in the bathroom.
In the bathtub, specifically.
Yeah. So there's the opening scene, bathtub, mirror, hair dryer. Foreshadowing. A beautiful house on the lake. It takes place in Vermont. Seemingly a normal, loving couple about to take their daughter off to college. He's a genius scientific researcher, and she is kind of now suffering from some empty nest syndrome because they've taken their daughter to college, and she's very close to her. So she has a lot of time on her hands because, he's very busy researching, and now the daughter's gone. And it's quite interesting because she's so upset about taking this daughter off to college, but yet, hey, peace out, because that's the last time we hear or see of this kid in the entire movie. But anyway, she's got a lot of time on her hands, and she's feeling, empty nest.
Okay.
There's some new neighbors that have moved across from them that they haven't met. But he works at the same place that Norman works, which is Harrison Ford's character. But they are constantly serenaded in the night to their love-making harmonies.
Oh.
So they kind of show you that Michelle Pfeiffer, she's kind of like, she flies the straight and narrow,
Oh, okay.
And so after they take the daughter to college, she decides she's maybe going to let her hair down a little bit. And she tells Norman, leave the windows open and let's see if we can, it's like a sporting competition. Let's see if we can compete with their...
Ew.
I know.
Get over it. Gross.
So
why did I just sound like a middle-aged?
I know. Oh. Hey, don't be so uptight, Leanne.
Oh my God.
So they're definitely spinning this empty nest syndrome thing here. And so she's in the garage looking at some old photos, and we see her daughter in this Juilliard shirt. And then she flips back to some pictures, and we notice that she's in that same shirt. So we've made the connection that we see her playing the cello, and she's outside of Carnegie Hall. So she was like this famous cellist in her earlier days.
Cello, you have a bass.
Hello. Right on. If you flip it up, a cello. So some papers fall out. Again, some foreshadowing. And we see a picture of Norman and his dad. We see a newspaper clipping of his dad's obituary. And we see an insurance claim picture of this totaled car. So some foreshadowing there. She runs out of the garage. She's crying. And it just so happens that her new neighbor is also crying in the yard next to her.
Simpatico.
And they meet between the fence.
A meet cute.
It's a meet cute. They only see each other through the fence, but she gets the sense that her neighbor is afraid of her husband and that her husband is like harming her.
The neighbor's husband.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's worried. And since she has all this time on her hand, what does she do? What does any good neighbor do?
Stalk them?
They take a welcome basket over with some of her prize-winning roses and some jam.
A basket.
It's a basket.
You know who loves to make baskets?
Laura loves to make baskets.
She loves to make a gift basket.
I am the queen basket maker. I would have done that. I would have totally done that.
I know you would have.
And what she sees on the porch appears to be one bloody shoe.
Just one?
Just one.
Where's the other?
Just one shoe. The house seems a little unkempt. Like there's baskets hanging baskets, but no flowers in them. And you can tell they're not taking care of their house.
Judgy.
Well,
why? Because they don't have
It just
plants?
seems like they've got a lot going on. You know what I mean? A lot going on. So she sees this bloody shoe and she thinks, what's happening? Does not see the wife. She's nowhere to be found. So she starts spying on him because, hey, Norman's away at the lab researching and the daughter's not home. So she's got a lot of time, as we've said.
Where's your cello?
Where's your cello? So she sees him loading a large trash bag into the back of his trunk on a rainy night. And, she's like, I believe that he has killed his wife.
Obviously, it's a body.
Obviously, it's a body.
That's the way my mind works.
That's exactly where I go. So, when I'm looking at my neighbors with binoculars through the window. So, of course, her husband thinks she's lost her mind, right?
Well,
But as we continue along, things get worse because things start to go bump in the night, right? Doors start opening on their own. The electronics start just turning themselves on. The computer starts pulling up these just initials, MEF, MEF, MEF. And she finds out that her neighbor's name is Mary Fuhrer. There's the M and the F, right?
Oh,
yeah. And then she takes the dog for a walk down by the lake and throws his ball in the water. And he's like, I'm not having any of that. He's not going for the ball. So she goes to get it. There's seems to be a body laying in the lake.
I'm not kidding. If my dog is out, I'm out. Like if
the dog says no, right?
They're too sensitive. Like if you see your dog looking all weird and no,
duck and run, kids.
And for that reason, I'm out.
So, she seems to see this body floating in the water and she gets a little scared.
You don't say.
So she's a little frightened and she decides to head down to the research lab and just hang out with Norman because she's scared and he's not coming home. And while she's in there, she realizes that they're researching this drug that paralyzes, here's some foreshadowing, paralyzes the person but leaves them conscious.
And a red flag is thrown.
Hello. And you can hear them saying it lasts like maybe 5 minutes and before it starts wearing off. So it's a way for like testing.
For what purpose?
So like if you were testing somebody, to find out if they had some sort of disease or something and you wanted them to be conscious to say like, does this hurt? Well, you couldn't because you'd be paralyzed, but
I was going to say literally
that wouldn't work. And I'm out.
And back it up.
Why they would be conscious then, I don't know, but that's what they were testing.
Okay.
Leanne, you're getting too deep into this.
Okay, my bad.
So there's some foreshadowing. So anyway, she goes home. Her cool friend, her boho friend, Jody, comes to visit, who I absolutely love this gal, and brings her some mushroom tea because it helps soothe a broken heart. And she's the gal for me. So she dresses cool. She's got a cool car. And those two decide that, she tells her about the neighbor. She's like, I think he killed her, So they decide to have a seance.
Naturally.
They go and get the Ouija board and they're in the bathroom. They're having the seance in the bathroom. So,
nope.
And I'm out. Because she sees a shadow in her bathtub. Like she goes upstairs the one night and there's like steam coming out of the bathroom door. And when she opens it up, the tub is mysteriously full and she goes to like pull the plug and there's like another person standing there.
Nope.
Looking in the water. Gross.
I would be out of that house so quickly. No seance. No
seance. So they're doing the seance, lighting the candles, working the Ouija board. And I told you to remind me of this because I was in the house kind of by myself because when I was watching this.
Are you about to tell me something spooky?
Dude, I'm watching this. So there's a point when they're doing the seance and the door of the bathroom starts. Right? Okay. And so I'm thinking it's the television and I'm hearing, and I look up and the door to Uncle Bob's is closing shut and I about my pants
Ghost Adventures debunk alert. It's because the fan was on.
Okay. So, yeah, obviously there was wind blowing, but at the very same time when the door in the movie was going and I was like, I think I just my pants.
I myself.
So, of course, nothing happens while Jody is there, but Jody leaves and she goes upstairs and the steam's coming out of the bathroom and she's like, what do you want? And in the mirror, the steam says, you know.
I don't know.
And I'm out. So,
I don't know.
So she is very convinced that, you know,
it's the neighbor.
It's the neighbor. And she's saying, hey, like, you know what happened to me, you know? So she goes back to the lab to confront Norman and say, like, I'm freaking out here. I know he killed her. And she sees him. Like, she sees him because they work at the same place. She sees him and she confronts him.
She sees the neighbor.
The neighbor. She's like, I know you killed your wife. And meanwhile, there's all these people around. And she's looking like, you know, her cheese done slid off her cracker. And she even looks worse when the wife comes out of the restroom and is like, hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all? He's like, I didn't kill my wife. You know,
she's right like, there.
All, you know, so what the is going on?
Who the is haunting her?
Who the haunting her? What? So now it really looks like she has just lost her mind.
Cheese off cracker.
Cheese
Got it.
Off the cracker. So while all of this stuff, so her friend, so she goes home. So her husband says, you know, you need to go talk to somebody. So she's, you know, seeing a therapist and she comes home from therapy and Jody has left this book of witchcraft and spells on her doorstep. And she's like, some conjuring spells. All right.
No.
So when she goes into the house, there's this picture that keeps falling over. And it's a picture of her husband getting this award from the DuPont Society or something. And it breaks.
Okay.
And the glass shatters. She gets a piece of glass in her foot and she's trying to get it out. And she notices this key is in this vent. So she pulls the key out, puts it in her pocket. But behind the picture is like this newspaper clipping of this girl that had gone missing the year before. And her initials are MEF.
A coinky dink?
A coinky dink. So she starts researching, finds this girl that's missing, and goes to her mom's house.
And we have escalated.
We've escalated. And we're like, what? And while she's there, she sees the most recent picture of her, and she's wearing this necklace. And there's this braid of hair on the picture, and she takes the braid. Hold braid. On. Hi, Mom. How are you? I've never met you before. I'm just going to take this from your home.
Hold on. Why was there a braid of hair?
Sometimes, you know, I have never been that type of parent that does that, but there are parents that save their like baby's first haircut or first tooth or something.
My mom still has my teeth.
Dude, I don't want that.
Dude,
no,
you better
I didn't save your teeth. I did not save your teeth because you know what? I go back to the Sopranos episode when Tony's in Italy and she's like, burn those toenails and because witches, you know, I don't save any of that.
Hold on.
That's a whole nother topic.
You better not have any of my like teeth or hair or toenails.
I don't have any of that, but a lot of people do. Jake said his mom does. I don't do. I don't have any of that.
I don't do
that. I don't do that. I don't save any of that stuff. So anyway, she takes the piece of hair because you're supposed to have something personal,
right,
of someone if you want to, you know, connect with them to the other side. And so she starts conjuring in this book of spells and becomes possessed by the spirit.
And we have escalated again.
And so she comes home and, you know, she is definitely not, you know, Norman's wife. She ain't Claire. And yeah, she's all dressed all sultry and she's, you know, seducing him. And we realize that she's been possessed, and when he knocks the hair out of her hand, she turns like back into herself. But now she knows, and she's like, you knew her. And then she says, So remember when we talked about her looking at those pictures in the garage and the insurance claim? Mm-hmm. So 1 year prior to that, she was at this DuPont chair party reception for him where he was getting this award, sees this girl, realizes something's going on. She flees, wraps her car around, whatever. She's in this bad accident. And she's like blocked all of this from her mind. So after this incident, she's like, you knew her. You were having an affair with her. What? Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like,
what?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. So he cops to it. He's like, well, yeah, I had an affair with her, Mm-hmm. So she leaves. She's like, I'm out of here. Goes to Jody's house. And Jody says, I feel really bad because you're my friend. And she said, and I was visiting this little artsy town called Adamant. That's how she said it. But I can't ever think of anything besides Adam Ant, the singer, the 1980s post-punk new wave singer of Goody Two Shoes. Uh-huh. So every time they say it in the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, Adam Ant. And I want to snap my fingers. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's an artsy town. She goes, and I went there to like antique, and I went to this little cafe, and I saw Norman with this woman, and I knew the way they were sitting that it was not platonic, She said, but the very next day is when you like wrapped your car around the telephone pole or whatever, and I didn't want to say anything. So she's like, okay. So she decides to forgive Norman, and they're on their boat. And she says, well, maybe we can go up the coast a little, and we can go to that little town called Adamant. And we can do some antiquing. She's like, have you ever been there? And he's like, no, never heard of it. So she knew he was still lying. Mm-hmm. So she decides to go there herself and sees the cafe, and beside it there's this little jewelry shop. And in the jewelry shop is the necklace that she was wearing in that picture. And it comes in a box that had a key, like the key she pulled out of that vent. And so she's like, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So she knows he's lying, and she goes home and she's like, I know you're lying. Like, did you have something to do with this? And so he says, well, I came home and, she had killed herself in the house, and I just dumped her body in the lake because I didn't want her to ruin my career. What was I supposed to do? And she says, well, you have to call and tell the authorities, right? And so he calls and says, hey, can you send a cop out here? Long story short, it's all a bunch of bullshit. He just tells her that when she hits the redial on the phone, he hadn't dialed the cops. And so she knew, Norman, lie.
You lying like a rug.
And so what happens? He uses that experimental paralyzer, right?
And there it is.
And he paralyzed her, and now he's going to off her. And not only did he not just toss her body in the lake after she killed herself, he killed her, and he enjoyed it. And now he's going to kill his wife because she's getting in his way. And he goes up and he fills up the tub and he puts her in, and she's paralyzed.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And this whole movie, we see her, and she's like completely like put together, just like pristine. Girl, pedicure. That's all I'm saying. Pedicure. So she's like in the tub and she can't move. And he sees like the necklace, because she had found the necklace of the girl, and he's like, oh, what's that? And when he like pulls her up, it's the face of the girl, and he cracks his head and he goes down, and the drug is wearing off, and she manages right before she's ready to drown to wrap her toe around.
Ooh, were they gross toes?
Pedicure. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Michelle Pfeiffer, get it together.
Michelle Pfeiffer, pedicure. Get a paint job. So she kind of looks out and he's not there. She goes down. He's laying on the floor. He's a bloody mess. She grabs the keys. She gets in the car and she's going across the bridge, which there's no cell phone reception until you get to a certain part in the bridge. And lo and behold, he's in the back of the truck and they go into the water, which happens to be the very exact same place where he buried the car. Right? And out comes the body of, Madison, and he's trying to drown Michelle Pfeiffer. She locks him down there, and Michelle Pfeiffer escapes. Harrison Ford, he don't make it out.
Goodbye.
Because she's holding on to him down there.
Who's she?
Madison.
Okay.
The gal he killed. The gal that he killed.
Okay.
Yeah. So... so that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. I went through the whole movie. I literally went through.
You literally just gave me a
play-by-play
of the entire film.
Well, it's very important. So the critics poo-pooed this, right? And they're saying that it's very, I can't even say this word because I'm going to laugh. Hitchcockian.
Okay.
Which sounds dirty, right? It's Hitchcockian. It's a Hitchcockian thriller. So basically they were like following a Hitchcock movie. Mm-hmm. The music is by Alan Silvestri and he appears to be, the music is like in the style of Psycho.
Okay.
And similarly, both movies share a theme of dead bodies hidden by rolling cars into bodies of water.
Okay.
As Michelle Pfeiffer is climbing out of the tub, the shower curtain pulls off the rod, which is like a nod to Psycho. And Harrison Ford's character is named Norman. So there's your nod to Psycho. When Michelle Pfeiffer is spying on the neighbor, it's a very big nod to Rear Window, the Hitchcock movie Rear Window. And so I guess the critics didn't care for that.
Really?
Which I thought it would be,
I mean, I'm a big Hitchcock fan and I never really it wasn't so blatant that it knocked me over the head.
Right. Exactly. When Michelle Pfeiffer visits Adamant, the store is called Sleeping Dog that she finds the necklace, which is a nod to the quote, "Let sleeping dogs lie. Don't scratch the surface," because that could get you into trouble. And the village in Vermont called Adamant changed its name in 1905 from Sodom, which is the town Sodom and Gomorrah that God destroys for sexual immorality, which is the ultimate cause of Norman's problems. Which I find it's interesting, who are the people that delve so deep into these little
details,
minuscule details. It's fascinating.
Are you really asking me that? You know that they are Virgo.
Oh, because you're doing the same thing, Mom. Claire Norman sailboat is called Good Jeans. That's barfy.
Good jeans?
Good jeans. Not like I love your Calvin Kleins, but jeans like Genes. Good jeans.
Like he has good jeans? Not like Jeans.
No, Genes. Wow. I have good genes to, procreate.
Pompous.
Hello. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, Claire starts out wearing pastels in the film, and the more involved she becomes with the ghost, the darker the clothing becomes.
Love that.
Not like her hair in Witches of Eastwick, but
my God.
As it got bigger.
Yeah.
But after the murder is revealed, she returns to wearing white, and he is in the dark colors.
Love some color theory. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in the closing scene, before it fades to black, a face materializes in the snow, which I did not see. I mean, I went back and looked for it 3 times, and I'm like, clearly I'm blind. So if anybody sees that, let me know, Because I'm like, where's this face they're talking about? So when Michelle Pfeiffer is possessed, they signify the difference with having her wear contacts and just changing the eye color. So her eyes are blue. Madison's character is green. And so that's how you can tell when she is possessed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Zemeckis filmed this while he was waiting for Tom Hanks to lose weight and grow a beard for Castaway, which also came out in 2000. So this was like while he was waiting for Tom Hanks to do those things, he filmed this little film.
Okay.
So of course we know Castaway is also another huge box office hit.
You love the box office.
I do. It's important. It's a detail. I like it. So Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford were Robert Zemeckis' only choices for the lead roles. Like he had thought of no one else.
Okay.
And Harrison Ford actually cleared his schedule for this movie. So with that being said, this is where I was going with this. Like, this is, I have to find out like what my driving force is, and I have to find somebody to validate me.
Okay.
So What Lies Beneath pays homage to the Hitchcockian game of cat and mouse and asks the question, what if Alfred Hitchcock had made a movie about ghosts? And it plays a number of tricks on the viewer right up to the climax.
The climax
Of the movie. Listen here, you dirty bird. So the best trick lies in the cast, not actually the performance. And this is where I'm validated. What makes this so effective is how it plays with an audience that knows Harrison Ford, the actor. So if Zemeckis had cast literally any other actor than Harrison Ford, we would have seen this coming a mile away. So Harrison Ford never plays bad guy.
No.
Never. The idea never even enters the person's mind. The only other time he played a bad guy was in 1973 for the film American Graffiti, and that was like way early in his career, and he was just like a bully. He wasn't like a cold-blooded murderer. So this is really the only time he's played. So it was very brilliant and deliberate casting. Because he played Han Solo in Indiana Jones, and so you couldn't be like, how could
Hans Olo be a bad guy?
How could Indiana Jones be a murderer? No. And so it was like, and that's really where the validation came from, because I was like, this movie completely floored me. Like, never for a second. You're very good at picking. Like, you're very good,
and I didn't.
And I'm not as good as you, but I pretty much can get it by the end. I'm like, oh, I know who did this. Not for a minute. And I watched this when it came out, so I've been a fan of this movie for 20 years. Blew my mind.
Right.
I was like, I did not see that coming, which is why I really hope that you went and watched the movie before I had to spoil this, because that really is what makes this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Mic drop.
Mic drop. It is a good surprise.
Never
twist.
saw that coming. Yeah, never. No, because even when he like stages, I didn't give all of the plays away, but he stages like he got electrocuted in the tub and it was the ghost, and it was like, yeah, Indiana Jones, you did it, right? Okay, so that's kind of like
your spiel.
My spiel, but there's like ghosts in it. They do seances. They have the Ouija board, the mushroom tea. She grows the roses. She loves the garden.
So what did they say that the mushroom tea was for?
Mending a broken heart.
So is that
true? They call it kombucha mushroom, which I didn't really research because I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard of kombucha, but I haven't heard of a kombucha mushroom.
Kombucha. Okay.
Kombucha. So... I don't know. Is Jake looking it up?
I'm surprised you, the herb lady, did not look that up.
See, I don't know if that was real because I love mushrooms.
I know you do.
And, I know a lot about mushrooms, but I had never heard of that. So, and he just fact checked it and he said there's nothing on it. So it's probably completely made up, but it was to heal a broken heart.
Oh, sad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, But I love this movie.
I think it's a great movie.
I love psychological thrillers more so than horror, just straight on horror. Oh, Jake's going to love that one. Yeah, so what do you think?
I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. I think it has good elements of, magic and witchiness in there.
But it also shows how the mind can wander and how things can appear so real. Like she was so convinced
that it was the neighbor.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it clearly, when they show, it's just so absurd. Right. You know what I mean? But it's just like how you can bend your mind to believe what you want it to believe.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So, think of that as far as like just what we were talking about earlier, like bend your mind to what you want. And it's, bring it about.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I didn't look at it from that perspective, but I appreciate that.
And how she was able for that entire year to just block out all of those things she did not want to deal with.
Well, that's like PTSD, man. Yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation, but yeah. I think if you like psychological thrillers, I think this is one of the best. Like I do mean that. And we watch a lot of movies. I really like this movie. I mean, even after I knew that Harrison Ford was the killer, it still gets you.
I still love this movie, and I'm like, I don't want to believe it. I'm
right?
Like, no.
Well, it still surprises you.
Yeah, right.
You're still like, oh, I was hoping.
Yeah, because he's so convincing as like the good husband.
Yeah,
yeah.
Han Solo, man, he really
Han Solo. New band name, I call it.
Oh my god, that's a great one. Oh my god.
Trademark
TM. You can't have it. It's ours. Get lost. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is really the star of the show.
She does a great job.
She does.
And well, so does he. And it's funny because, the articles I read, it says, he's like typically, in his characters, he's kind of like a salty dog. Yeah. He plays like a,
stick in the mud.
Mr. Attitude, but never like, but he's always like good-hearted at the core,
right. Not
so
this
it's
time.
Just like, no, it's just so unbelievable, which I loved. I thought it was great. And I'm, obviously I couldn't pronounce the correct name, so I've never watched the Star Wars movies. Just like I said, the first one that my parents made me take my brother to, and I resent it still to this day. But anyway, on another note, but even I knew Harrison Ford to be the good guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as the magic in it goes, I think that it's an interesting, like, if, say, someone gets killed or dies in a
tragic
way, that they will try to, have their truth uncovered. Like, I think that that's a very interesting theory, I guess. Like, I don't know. Yeah. We've experienced that kind of at Lilydale. So I like stuff that goes into that.
Yeah.
Like Stir of Echoes is another one. Like
you haven't done that one yet.
I haven't done it yet. Yeah. I would like to do it. Where like, their truth has to be told.
Yeah, for them to be at peace and rest.
Right. And they're going to go to the people that are open. So I do think that is very interesting. So I like that element of it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a great movie.
It is. It's a good one. I love it.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Wow, love it.
I love it.
Great.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
All right.
And with that, you know what time it is.
Killer quotes
of the week. All right, mine is, there's a chance, however slim, that my ironic and detached nature could be misconstrued as jerkiness. Salem Saberhagen. And that one hit me a little too close to home. You know what I'm saying? It's my Aries moon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I went with we all go a little mad sometimes. Mr. Norman Bates.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
I went with the Hitchcock.
Love it.
You know.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. It was probably a little long-winded, but we've had a lot going on and wanted to share it with you. And
yeah, it was fun to just hang.
Yeah.
With our new setup, and we're just, we're happy to be here. Happy to hang out.
Yeah.
So
expect a lot of new, fun, cool things coming from us.
Yes. Yeah. And it's spooky season, man.
Oh, it's our time to shine.
So you know what that means. All the spooky things are coming.
Oh, yeah. We've got some cool stuff coming up for the month of October.
Yeah, I'm excited about the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone. We will see you next week.
We will. TTFN.
All right. Cut, print, check the gate. Moving on.